Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing a 2B t-shirt and a hat. So, I lost track of time the other day. I thought it was roughly 11 a.m. Turned out it was 6 p.m. I had been playing a video game that long that I lost that much time, but I was so into the game. I guess my level of escapism was so high. I didn't notice whatever 9 hours go by or whatever amount of time it was. But anyway, I have a bunch of Demi Lovato pictures up here, and they're all from various times in her life. But the one thing you can guess by each picture is the level of attractiveness she's at, because her looks have fluctuated up and down. You can tell which one she's normal in and which one she's non-binary in. Yeah, it's weird how at least with some of these celebrities or whatever, when they were, hot, they're heterosexual, normal, whatever. And then when they start to change, this is when she was still non-binary. Straight, normal, non-binary, talking to ghost. She's coming back to being straight, but still claiming non-binary, not talking to ghosts. Straight, just a cutter. Normal, straight. Anyway, you get the point what I'm saying. And yeah, I know I talk about, well, not a lot, but I've talked about Demi Lovato a lot on this channel. I mean, for those of you who are regular listeners, then you know I have, because I was in a band with one of her relatives. So unfortunately, I know way too much about her. And I do know that a lot of these celebrities, when they make announcements or, hey, I'm changing my sexuality again for the 15th time, it's just to get attention, just to get clicks, just to get views, just to get followers. And so, when it comes to Demi Lovato, and this is going somewhere, don't worry. When she first started out, I was a big fan, because she was really cute. She was really hot, sang good songs. And then what happened? Like, think about her timeline. And then she got older, and so when she got older, she lost a lot of her, I guess, the attention, because she aged out of the teen queen, pinup idol. And then a lot of her fans moved on to a younger person, or just moved on to a different person. They just moved on. And then she was doing, music. It wasn't going so good. And so what did she do? She magically became a cutter. And so now that put her back in the spotlight. And that lasted for a couple years. Okay? And then, things kind of, dwindled down. And then it became really cool to announce your sexuality, because it made the news. So that's when she said, "Oh, I'm a non something." She said, "I'm this." Said, "I'm this." And I talked to Ghost. And so, because she lost all the fans because her looks are gone. She lost all of her fans because she's not doing music. She lost all of her fans because she's old. Because there are some people who just liked her because she was of a certain age group. And then she got replaced by a different one. It's like a factory, the Disney factory of cranking out pop idols and actors and actresses. Okay? And then she started going back to normal. And then like see around this time is when she started coming back to being normal, and she was coming back from being non-binary back to being just a female woman. And then she got really normal and got married. But see, you can tell by the way she looks, she's definitely non-binary. She's definitely non-binary, but she's like, God, I'm sick of looking ugly, so I'm trying to change, but she still looks ugly. And then this was back peak hotness when she was using her sexuality to sell her music. Okay? And she was completely straight hair, looking like a thick Latina. Okay? Anyway, my whole point is her non-binary bullshit was all based on how attractive she was. And when she lost her attractiveness, she had to replace the attention she lost with some kind of label. And so the easiest way was to change her sexuality and make announcements about it. And then she was talking to ghosts. She was just doing other things to replace it was like, hey, I'm ugly now, so let me throw some distractions out there. Anyway. And I know because I have insider information. Her cutting was fake. It was just to get attention. All of it was to get attention. Okay, she's really a heterosexual woman, but the thing is, there are some people out there where it really is a mental problem. But if you look at social media, look who has the made up genders. It's usually people who aren't attractive. Okay? It's usually people that need attention. It's usually people that if you took that away, they're just a plain Jane, John Doe, whatever, regular person with nothing special about them. And then they talk about how they feel. Well, I don't feel like a man. I don't feel like a woman. So I can't be either one. No, it's this thing called Mother Nature. You either have XX chromosomes or XY chromosomes. Unless you're like that 0.0001% of the population that, came out weird. Or like, you whatever have like male reproductive organs, but you have XX chromosomes. But like that's like 0.01%. So but I'm just talking about normal, okay? Like go back through time. Go back millions of years when we just had dinosaurs. They're just boy dinosaurs and girl dinosaurs. They couldn't change their genders because there's only two and changing it's impossible. I'm just saying. Demi Lovato is a perfect example where you just type her name up and look at all the pictures, engaging on how attractive she is how you know what her sexuality is. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with being fat. Okay? You can still be cute and be fat. It's possible. Because this shoe is still straight. But then like this shit happened. Like this is ugly. I'm sorry. Like you it's like putting makeup on a pig. But anyway, it's besides the point. Now about her. But the main point I'm bringing up is it just seems like the main reason why people become ugly when that happens is because we are either men or women, and the way we interact, it's all Mother Nature. So like when I walk up to like a female, you just react in a different way. It's like Mother Nature stuff. And when you walk up to a male, it's just you interact in a different way. So when you walk up to someone who is not putting out either of that energy because they are trying so hard to be non-binary, meaning something that doesn't exist. They come off as soulless. Like there's no empathy you have towards them. And so that's part of the reason why these people come off as unattractive, because they are doing something outside of the normal human spectrum, and that's only men and women, because there's only two genders. I'm sorry. If you're not one of those, I don't know how you fit into society, or I don't know how you want to be treated normal. I'm not talking about the laws. The laws are the same for everyone. I'm talking about social interaction, social reactions. Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing all this up, first of all, I just like making fun of Demi Lovato, and it's been a while. I liked her when she was the thick Latina. To me, this was peak Lovato. Thick booty Latina. I'm not even kidding. But anyway. And she was hot here too. She was really hot. This is when her music was peak. Anyway, enough of me glazing her. Yeah, this was peak. I talk to ghosts. I'm non-binary, lesbian, trans, Lovato. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, there's this K-pop group called XG. And when I say K-pop, they're not really K-pop. Just like Cat's Eye isn't K-pop, Girl Said isn't K-pop, XG isn't K-pop. XG is a global girl group. They're a K-pop group, okay? And they don't have one song in Korean. All their songs are in Japanese or in English, okay? They are really good. Okay? I recommend XG. They have they don't have a lot of songs, but the songs they have are good. Okay? But they are in Japanese or English. There is no Korean. Now, in terms of Korean, maybe there'll be a line or two. I remember one song, one of the girls was rapping, and she did one verse in English, one verse in Japanese, one verse in Korean. But that's about it. So, I don't know why they're called K-pop. I mean, if you're going to be a K-pop group, you have to sing in Korean. That's why I keep saying that Cat's Eye and Girl Said aren't K-pop groups. They're on K-pop labels. But I think the reason why they call them K-pop is because they want the K-pop fan base, because K-pop's fan base is pretty strong, and if you get enough, it can support you for your whole career. Like you don't have to worry about even getting new fans because you just have this set group of fans who just buy your album no matter what or stream your music no matter what. So I think that's why they're called K-pop. I'm just guessing. Anyway, one of the members of this group, Cocona, she came out as trans, masculine, non-binary. What? I'm not gonna read this whole thing. Don't worry. I'm just gonna read a few things. She said on a post on Instagram, "I was born and perceived as female, but that label never represented who I truly am." I am going to dissect that. I was born and perceived as female, but that label never represented who I truly am. You were born a girl. You were treated like a girl, perceived like a girl, because you are a girl. But that label never represented who I truly am. I think that means I think that really means you want to feel more special. You don't feel special enough, or you're not getting enough attention. I live in a way that feels more masculine and true to who I am. Then just be a tomboy. I don't understand this trans, masculine, non-binary. Do you know how many tomboys exist on this planet, and a lot of them are smoking hot and aren't trans masculine. They're just girls that don't like girly things, which is okay. The 20-year-old announced the news in a birthday Instagram post on the group's account. Today I turned 20. As I reach this new chapter in my life, I want to share something that's been in my heart for a long time. I am AFAB trans masculine non-binary. Earlier this year I had top surgery. So she's a 5'3" dude now that weighs 90 pounds. Okay, let's see. I was born and perceived as female, but that label never represented who I truly am. I live in a way that feels more masculine and true to who I am. The hardest thing I've ever faced was accepting and embracing myself. But as I slowly begin to do that, I was able to open a new door. That moment changed the way I see and understand the world, and it gave me the courage and strength to grow. Now I can finally say there's nothing wrong with who I am inside. So by getting top surgery, she feels better. I mean, I don't understand any of this. It sounds like cope. This sounds like cope. This sounds like someone who did not get enough attention. You mean I'm just a regular girl? Oh, but there's like 4 billion other girls on this planet. Well, I'm not special. Well, I guess I'm going to be trans masculine, non-binary. And then she's not even a man. Well, because you can't change your gender. This whole thing doesn't make sense. How come no one helped her? This is XG, okay? So I have a question about about this K-pop group now. Okay, so these girls, and you have to blame all this on Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga ruined music. Because all these people with the anime hair color, the weird outfits, Lady Gaga started it, and for some reason we all got to... Lady Gaga's the queen of pop, for sure. Because her influence, whether you like it or not, is still strong as hell. But this group has really cute girls in it. And then you have her. Because she's trying her best to be ugly. And so I'm thinking, Cocona, the reason why she doesn't feel... Okay, so this is her debut, okay? This is her when she debuted. This is a really cute Japanese chick, okay? This is her now, after the top surgery. So she's a, I don't know, like you stand her next to the average person, you put her next to the average girl, you'll probably have some simps say she's a 10. But you know what I'm saying. So she's a K-pop idol. This is a very attractive woman. So I don't know what number you want to give her. But let's just say, compared to the average person, she's a 10. Okay? Very, very pretty, very talented, all that nonsense. But I think what happened to her, because she's doing this idol lifestyle, so, during her teens, like early teens, when she's trying to, she's training and trying to become an idol, she is surrounded by other girls that make her look hideous, probably. And she just probably didn't feel like a girl because she wasn't, in her mind, cute, because she's standing next to people who have, God level visuals. Like imagine Imagine like you're the cutest girl in your family, you're in your school, whatever. You're just this cute girl, and then like you go to this K-pop label and you're the ugly one, and then you're there all day, 6 days a week training, and you're just like, oh, doubting yourself, like blah 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 blah. Okay, and so I think that's what happened to her, because there is no way you can look like this and not be happy with yourself, but then go like this and chop off your tits and go, oh, I'm happy now. That makes no sense. And you're telling me that no one in her group, no one was close enough to her to tell her that that was a bad idea. No one was close enough to tell her, hey, you're a woman. You can't change your gender. There's nothing you can do about it. Why don't we go to a psychologist and figure out why you really feel this way? Because now she still feels the same. She's the same person she's always been. Now she just doesn't have any tits. That it makes no sense. And then I think about the group. Okay, so let's just pick this girl right here, Harvey, on the top left. Harvey, she's probably the most popular one. Okay, so what's Harvey gonna do when she's doing a live stream, and every question is about the girl at the bottom right, and about her trans, sexual, whatever. So is the group going to be overshadowed by this stuff? And then if Cocona always felt like a boy, even though she's not a boy because she's non-binary, but she's trans. I don't know what it means. Okay, how come she didn't try out for a boy K-pop group since she, I don't understand. So does she feel weird hanging out with a bunch of girls now because she's really a boy? But she's not really a boy because you can't change her gender. It just doesn't make sense. This is a mentally unstable person, and no one in her friend circle, no one in her family, no one who worked for the label, no one helped her. Maybe they didn't know. If I'm an investor, I'm pissed. Cuz see, in Korea they don't like this. See, the problem is you have a vocal minority who supports this. Like, yeah, support you. But the majority can't stand this shit. The majority of people who are going to be buying or following this group know that there's only two genders. They know you can't change your gender. They are grossed out or weirded out by all the trans stuff. Korea is a conservative country when it comes to these weird, woke, bullshit values. Isn't that their main market? I mean, they call themselves K-pop, but even though they're not. You're gonna have a lot of woke people in America. I mean, like you're gonna get international support. You're gonna get like single female libs, probably buying your album just because. You're going to get a fan base, a boost in a fan base, but it's gonna be fans you don't want. It's gonna be a bunch of like far left woke weirdos. And the problem is those people usually don't have money anyway, but I mean they can probably buy one or two of your albums. They're probably not gonna buy a lot of merch. Your group is now overshadowed by some weird shit that doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a trans masculine non-binary person. Those things are it's not real. I don't understand. How can you go from looking like this? She's a pretty girl. She's a pretty girl. What makes you want to go from this to this? She looks dead inside. She looks dead inside because there's nothing inside, because there's no such thing as a trans masculine non-binary person. It's it's not real. So how come, why not just, and like, do you feel better because you made the announcement? That's stupid too. Why do you need other people to know about your, sexual or whatever? That's like me going on Instagram and going, I like skinny Asian girls. Like, who cares? I I am a man. I am a I identify as a man that likes skinny Asian girls. You would laugh me out the room, because who cares? Same with this. Who cares? Like, why do I need to know this about you? I liked you better before all this. Sometimes less is more. I don't need to know this information. So now when I look at you, I'm just thinking you're a crazy person. I'm thinking, like, why? I'm thinking there's something wrong with all the other members. I'm really thinking that. I'm thinking you're probably not going to be with this group much longer. I'm thinking that too. I'm thinking she's heading towards a mental breakdown, because she already had a mental breakdown, because she cut off her tits and claims to be non-binary, trans, blah 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 blah. If I'm an investor, I'm pissed. If I'm a stockholder, I'm pissed. There's a there's a lot of people that this crap affects. You could have kept it to yourself. There will be backlash. There's always backlash. There's going to be people who aren't going to like the group because of this. Now, she could have done all this and just kept it a secret. A secret meaning you don't have to announce it. Because I don't see anyone else announcing their sex. Why do I need to know? And I know I just mentioned Harvey because Harvey's the most popular one on the far left, the top here. The one that's Lady Gaga infused. Why do I need to know what Harvey thinks her sexuality gender is? Harvey is a woman, Harvey is a Japanese woman. If Harvey made a post saying, I am officially a man, I would, one, think she's crazy. Two, because she doesn't live in reality, I don't think I could support her, because every time I look at her, I'd be like, this person's crazy. And so now I'm not listening to her rap. I'm going like, oh, this person's crazy. Why am I even watching this music video? Well, why am I watching her on this variety show? Why am I watching this live stream? This person's crazy. I didn't hear a word Harvey said, because the whole time I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she's trans, masculine, non-binary. You're taken away from the art by doing this. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can live your private life, okay? Like, I play with miniature BattleTech toys all day. No one needs to know, though, because it's weird. Anyway, I've said enough. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace.